You are looking right now at Pittsburgh, which is where Uber's secret self-driving test facility is located. We got an exclusive look inside it. Uber showed us how it's trying to make self-driving technology safer. Now, this comes after a series of delays and setbacks, including a deadly accident last year involving an autonomous vehicle. Chris Van Cleve is in Washington with more on this story. So, Chris, what are Uber's plans? Good morning to you.
Well, good morning. Uber is betting its self-driving car future in part on this vehicle. We'll show you more of it here in just a minute, but let's make a little bit of news. Uber says it plans to resume its on-street testing in San Francisco and Toronto by the end of the year. It is part of a crawl, walk, run approach to self-driving that Uber says grows out of its renewed focus on safety. Okay, here comes a pedestrian.
Driving down make-believe lane is what Uber hopes is a very real future.
Oh, he blew a stop sign.
This is Uber's self-driving test track in Pittsburgh. The roads draw their names from the famous Pittsburgh-based kids program, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But what's happening here is far from child's play. We took a ride with the project's chief scientist, Raquel Erdison.
Is this car as good of a driver as the average human is?
Not yet.
On this 54-acre closely guarded facility, Uber is building its return to autonomous driving after the March 2018 crash where a self-driving Uber hit and killed a woman crossing a street in Tempe, Arizona.
There's a lot of skepticism about self-driving cars. And in the aftermath of that accident, there's more skepticism about Uber and self-driving cars. So how are you going to convince me or my mother that she should get in the back of one?
It's by demonstration. It's by showing that the system works. It's by not saying it, but proving it.
Eric Mayhofer leads Uber's autonomous driving unit. After Uber's fatal accident, the number of people who said they were afraid to ride in a self-driving car rose to 71%, up from 63% a year ago.
Do you think the improvements to the technology are such that that kind of accident wouldn't happen again?
I think that, yes. It's a little enthusiastic and maybe presumptuous to think that there will never be an accident in a self-driving car. It's inevitable, and there will be.
The fatal crash halted Uber's self-driving program as the company conducted a top-to-bottom safety review. They added a second safety driver and technology to monitor them for distraction. Uber resumed limited on-road testing in Pittsburgh last December, but most of the development work is happening here on the site of an old steel mill. Stephen Lesh oversaw the new car's design.
So this is the brain of the car.
This is the brain of the car. It's actually hidden underneath this plate here, and there's liquid cooling beneath it to keep the computer cool.
Uber promises even if the computer is doing the driving, the ultimate control will be at the passenger's fingertips.
So there's a button right here, actually, that you can press, and then the computer will immediately find a safe place to pull the car over.
So it'll be just
Hit the button.
let me out. And right now the car is driving itself.
Yeah.
The cars are cautious. They operate at 25 miles an hour or less, allowing more decision time, sometimes more than a human driver would need. Even Uber admits they sometimes fail tests.
Our approach isn't going to be, it's ready, hey everybody, it's ready, trust us. Our approach is, it's not ready yet. This vehicle is not ready yet. We believe that this vehicle can do it, but today it isn't there.
Tim Stevens from CNET's Roadshow.
Self-driving technology is absolutely fundamental to Uber's business. If they cannot get drivers out of cars, they probably will never be profitable enough to be a viable business.
Already, competitor Waymo is offering a limited autonomous ride-hailing service in Arizona. Drive AI has a shuttle service running in Texas, and Ford is testing on the streets of Miami. There are approximately 40,000 traffic deaths in the U.S. every year. The promise of the self-driving car is the possibility they could reduce or eliminate the 94% of crashes caused by human error.
It's one of the hardest engineering challenges of our generation. We think of it as our space program.
All right, here's another look at this third-generation autonomous vehicle for Uber. It'll be the first one to come off the line with the intent of being driven by a computer. That means it can close its own doors. It has redundant braking and steering because one day there won't be a person on board to do those things if there's a problem. And most of the sensors, except for the thing up here, all the doohickeys that used to hang off the vehicle are now tucked inside the car. Tony?
All right, Chris, thank you very much. You can close its own doors. I want it to pump its own gas. That would be helpful. Now,
give it time.
The key question here, I don't think, is not are they perfectly safe, but are they safer than us and the rest of us?
And they will
on the
be.
road?
Give it time, they will be. I think there's no question about it. And I think in the end, the insurance companies are going to say to you, we can't afford to let you drive.
Right.
Hey, teenagers, get your licenses while you can, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you both see the day, because I'm so not there yet, but you see the day where one day kids will say, you mean people used to drive cars?
I'm telling my son already, you better start driving now because you won't have a lot of time.
Then we can all text and ride. All right.
That's it.